Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the Mary D Talk Show. I know, do I say this every Monday? But it is every Monday. It's a beautiful Monday. And really, I'm just looking outside. It's gorgeous. It really is. But every Monday is a beautiful Monday as far as I can see. And we have a lot to be thankful for. So just know I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're spending time with me. Those of you that are able to be here for the Mary D Talk Show, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to thank all of you that go to YouTube and like and subscribe. I do appreciate you for doing that because what you're doing is saying you really like the show. You like what you see. You like the speakers. You like coming out every week. And I can't tell you just how much I appreciate each and every one of you because the show is here because of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I like to also thank our sponsors for the show. We have sponsors that come on weekly, and the sponsors they are right now the current sponsors. The Idea Club is a sponsor, and the president of the Idea Club is Dumas Martin Jr. And those of you that are interested in intellectual property, you can, let's say you have, if you're interested in, let's say, a copyright, or if you're interested in, if you have a small business and you would like to be an LLC, which is a limited liability corporation, or you want to be a C Corp or an S Corp, then I would advise you to contact Dumas and let him know that Mary sent you, because then he'll know that someone from the show, you saw the show and you came out and you were interested in being one of the learning about how to do that, learn how to protect your intellectual property. As I said, LLC, Limited Liability Corporation, S Corp, C Corp. You want to contact Dumas Martin Jr. at the Idea Club. Next, another sponsor is First Book Academy. Those of you who are interested in writing a book, First Book Academy. And really, I'd be honest, I'm the teacher for First Book Academy because if you are interested in writing a book, which I feel really strongly about, everybody has a book. I know many of you hear me say that and you think, what is she talking about? If you, well, I said you have been alive long enough, it just had, if there's something in your life that was funny, that was different, that was, oh, okay, got it. I just heard, got a message. Okay, uh, excuse me, different that you like to share, then I can tell you right now, then we can, without a doubt, sit down. You can come into one of the workshops, and you have something that you want to share. But we just have to take the time to find out what it is. That's really what it amounts to. So just know that you come there. I teach you how to do it. I know many of you think that writing. Oh, I don't want to. I hear this all the time. I don't want to write. Oh, that's too much to do. Oh, I don't. The number one complaint I hear, I don't have the time to do it. That's the one I hear most often than anything. I don't have the time. And I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not that you need the time to do it. You really just need the desire to do it. That's all it is. That's I know that sounds, like what do you mean? All I need is the desire. I can tell you because um, the time you will make the time. Let me just say that you will if you want to do it. Everybody does. But if you say, well, I don't. Let me just give you for instance. All of us uh, make time for the things that we want to make time for. All of us do. Every single one of us. So just know, okay, just know that you can do it. That's all you need to know. I know some of you have seen the books, and I'm going to talk about those in a minute because I want to definitely mention the newest addition to the books that are out. But I want to first tell you, you have a book in you. You have a book in you. And what we have to do is figure out how to get it out. That's all. It could be, let's say you grew up and you were on the swings and something happened that was different and you unusual. I could tell you so many stories that now I'm turning them into children's books. Turn them into children's books. Right now I have two books named after two children. They're adults, but in the family. And one is, many of you may have seen it. And the other one is, the one you may have seen it is Peyton the pink whale with the yellow tail. Let me say it again. I always say it too fast. Peyton the pink whale with the yellow tail. That's the book. It's on Amazon. And the other one, um, okay, this is a reminder. It started at one, and the other book that is new right now is, which I'll share with you, this one. This is now available. Justin Lost a Tooth. That's this book. Now, this I want to really share this with you because it's only been live since Thursday. Went live on Thursday, and this is for ages. You could say, I say 2 to 5, 2 to 6. A 1-year-old maybe, but there's another. If you were interested, I mean, one. I don't think ones can sit down long enough to read a book because they're kind of all over the place. The little people. But if they're two, they'll like the colors. They like. I'll show you that too, so you can kind of get an idea. Here, I'll show you the inside. I'm really. Can you tell I'm proud? I'm proud. Anytime that they come out, I'll tell you right now. Here's the inside, what it looks like, the inside of the characters. The main character's name is Justin, and he loses a tooth in the classroom. And I'll even do this. I usually don't, but I'll do this for you guys. I'll read the very first page, or a page or two, so you kind of get an idea of the book. It says, "Everyone freeze, don't move, don't laugh. Justin's tooth fell out and is in this class. Everyone turned to look and see. There was a hole where Justin's tooth used to be." So it's that kind of rhyme that's in here. You want to hear a little bit more? This was serious business, and we all knew. Justin needs his tooth for the tooth fairy to come soon. You place your tooth under your pillow, and lo and behold, in the morning, the tooth fairy leaves you money, some silver, some gold. That's how it goes. It's that rhythm. Now, I can tell you, this book did not start out, and just to give you some background, it started out as, all I said was, how would a little child, what would they do if they lost their tooth in the classroom? That's how I started this. And it ended up what you see now, which is Justin Lost a Tooth. That's how it ended up. This book will be put in Spanish also. It's currently only in English, but it's going to be put in Spanish. And so it'll be the first one of all the books to be in Spanish. Right now, all the books are just English only, but they'll probably eventually all be bilingual. But right now, it's just this one. It'll be bilingual. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how this book, of how it sounds. But I will tell you, every book does not have to rhyme. Now, I'm trying to think. I think so far all of my books do. I'll be honest and tell you, all the children's books, not the adult books, but the children's books do. So I just wanted to make sure I introduced Justin Lost a Tooth to you. It is a new addition to the books that are on Amazon right now. I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of all of them. They do become your babies. Don't I think, without a doubt, I know. They are definitely my babies. I would tell anybody they're my babies. That's all I can say. So many of you know the other ones. I'm going to hold them up. Before I do, I want to hold up as you. This is the author. I always tell everyone. I get so proud of this lady. Her birthday was Saturday, and she is now the young age of 90. I know you guys say the young age. Yes, the young age of 90. She's a young age of 90. When I tell you, she was on the show last week. Those of you that caught the show last week with Dr. Henry, the lady touches my heart. And this book is her book that Front Page Publishing published, which is From the Ashes I Rise. I'm so proud of it. You can get it in hardback or paperback. And I believe you can get it in digital too, in Kindle too. But you definitely can get it in those 3 ways. And this is her family's history. If you go through, it talks about her family. In the back has pictures in it. It has her, and this is what we found out recently. This is her, some of her accomplishments. We didn't even, she She said, I talked to her recently, and she said, "You're not gonna believe this. I didn't even include all of them. Think about this. This is intense, but this is not even all of them." So that just tells you this is a jewel of a book. I would encourage all you ladies and gentlemen, go to Amazon. From the Ashes I Rise, and here's a picture of this wonderful, beautiful lady, Dr. Henry, on here on the back here. Did I cover her up? Oh, there we go. Just want you to see that. Get her picture. There's a picture. Get her book. You will love it. It is wonderful, 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 wonderful. From the Ashes I Rise. Dare to do the impossible. I just love Dr. Henry. She just touches my heart. I have books, as you know, many of you already know. I'm going to show you the books by other authors, because these authors, all the books, because this is what I always think about when I see books or the authors. And we're all relatively new authors, if you really think about it. But not long ago, they didn't exist. Think about this. These books came out of our minds, out of our heads, as all books do, by the way. But these books have been printed in the last 2 to 3 years. So they're relatively new. So you really, to get copies of these books, oh, you know what? I see my saying no nicely. I forgot saying no nicely. Isn't that something? I don't know how that happened. But anyway, as I said before, for those of you who just came on, don't forget, grab your copy now from the Ashes I Rise. Ta-da! Okay, you want to make sure you get that. Hold on. There we go. And then, well, you can see Saying No Nicely. It's right behind me. Those of you see the book. I wrote that book because it was about me. That's what that book is about. I didn't know how to say no. I struggled with it. I still do, but not as much, but I still do. I'll be the first one to admit that. So those of you that, if you may say, and some of you may just read it just for, just made for content, or just to read you get a few tips. The book is 38 pages. You can read it in 30 minutes or less, but it is the best seller of all the books that I've written. And what I like about Saying No Nicely, people write me, they send messages, and they say it works. It works. Just hearing that touches my heart, because I teach you how to say no, but you don't even use the word no. The word no is not even in a sentence. Isn't that hard to believe? You don't have to use the word no, but you're still saying no. I know, but you can do it. I can promise you, because I've done it. That's how I know you can do it. So that's the book back there. You know what? I think I must have sold. Did I sell out of that? I could have. I don't see any. I don't see any Saying No Nicely near me. So that's a good sign. So if you want Saying No Nicely, go right there to Amazon. You can get all of these books are on Amazon. Everything I'm showing you is all on Amazon. So those of you that have Amazon Prime, the book will be at your doorsteps tomorrow. This is My Cat is a Spy. This is by our son, Justin Lowe. And I want to show you some pictures so you can see how his writing, think about it, is bigger than mine. And I'll read you a couple of pages of his really quickly. And it's dedicated to his wife. And it's illustrated by Samantha Hernandez. She's the illustrator. And it says, it has all become clear, my cat is a spy. It may be strange to hear, just let me tell you why. So you could tell we both we like to rhyme. And I think that comes from when they were small, when the boys were small, we read Dr. Seuss. Oh my goodness, My Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham. I still know the books. And I think that rhythm I don't think it's permeated through us, because I almost all my children's books they rhyme. I have a couple that I'm not really, and I don't really know what is going on with why some do and some don't. I am definitely a writer by inspiration. That is for sure. I'm definitely a writer by inspiration. I am, as I'm going over this with you, I'm getting the message from our guest. For some reason, and we don't know why, the link is not working. So what we're going to do, and he's ready, raring and ready to go, but I'm not able to bring him on. I don't know we don't know why. We still don't know why. Why is it that that the link's not working? And we don't know. So what we will do, I will carry on, but I am going to reschedule. Mr. Ray. Don't worry about that. You will be rescheduled. Don't don't worry. You'll be back on the show. I don't know why. This is the first time, by the way, that the link didn't work. So I don't know why. And I have learned technology is not perfect. I have learned that. So my apologies to you. Um, I would call you Dr. Rayford. My apologies to you. We will reschedule your show. Do not worry. You will be back. I do not know why that link is not working. I don't know why. Um, oh, you had a hard time getting on today? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Ladies, gentlemen, I don't know. And I sent the link out and everything. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through our broadcast. My apologies if you're, and it really shows because normally by now there'd be comments, questions. So yeah, other people are struggling to get on also. My apologies to each and every one of you. I'm sorry, um, but we will be back next week, and I'll talk to you about. And we are the show next Monday is about love. That's the so I really apologize, Mr. Rayford, about this because I know we have really got big plans for this show. So hello Gwen for so hello Gwen. I know you had a hard time getting on the show. Sorry about that. Hello Charles. Hello Gwen. Hello Charles. And I see and you have a blessed day too, Gwen. So I'm gonna go in and talk to you. And I say this because some of you I've heard people say, "Well, I don't want to write. I have no desire to write." You may not, but let me show you um, if you do, or you know someone. It may not be you, but you may know somebody who does. And they may. This is one from one of our authors. Some of you have seen me show this one's "Why is Little Face So Happy?" And this is the author. Her name is Fayette Foster. I'm very proud. This was her first book. She's now working on her second book. So I'm really proud of Fayette. And not only that, and on top of that, if you were not aware, some of you may be aware, we did a book this year totally different than we've ever done before in the publishing, front page publishing, and that was an anthology. And Fayette is one of the authors in the anthology. And why that's important is because even though many of you probably know, like without a doubt, I write children's books. That's not the only books I write, as I showed you, Say No Nicely, and I do other books that they're not children's books. And why is that important is because you do not have to limit yourself to just one genre. Obviously, you don't, because I have journals. For instance, this one, Big Black Journal. This is doing very well on Amazon. I have one for sisters. It's another one. They're all on Amazon. And this is one that is close to my heart because it's about probate. I wrote this book due to, oh, people start coming in. You did not have a problem, Debbie. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Hi, Debbie. And Elaine. Hi, Elaine. I know I missed it. It says, hello, Mary. I'm on. So sorry that Mr. I know. When I was looking forward to it too. I think well, don't worry. He'll be back. Don't worry. We're bringing it. We'll bring him back. Um, and this, I want to share this with you. Some of you know what this is. I'm going to talk about this briefly because this is close to my heart. And I've said this a lot of times, many times. I say a lot of times, but if you own property, let's say you own a home and you're the only person on title to that property, meaning that the property belongs to you, you purchased it, or someone left it to you, whatever the case may be. Even if you have a will, the home still goes to probate. Let me explain what probate means. It really, in essence, means a judge will decide who owns that property. That's truly what it means. So why is it important that this is, why is this important? Save your home from probate. I can tell you why. Because in here, there's 33 states and the District of Columbia that have a way to prevent your property from going to probate, and it's simple. Simple. It took about 3 years to write this book because the research involved, all 34 states are in here. Any new states that come through in the last couple of months, that's not here. But in the last years, they're here. And while you want the information, if you know somebody in another state, and let me see, I don't think you can see all the states, but if you put a state in the comments, I can tell you if that state is one of the states. Because as I said before, there's 34 states. You fill out one sheet of paper, you file it and attach it to your deed, and now that property will go to your next of kin, your church, your nonprofit, whoever you want it to go to, and it will avoid probate. Some people may say that's not a big deal. I promise you it is. I promise you it's a big deal. So that's why when I learned about this, I was like, does anybody else know about this? Because I felt like this was a secret. So I put it in a book. And the book is Save Your Home from Probate. Because in essence, when you have to, well, I'm gonna speak. If you have to deal with attorneys and attorney fees and all those kind of things, like it or not, it's going to eat up your proceeds sooner or later. Let me just be honest. It's going to eat up something. It's got to come from somewhere. So what I would encourage you to do, if you know someone, and almost everybody does, by the way, you know someone that owns a property. Usually it's a home. Our biggest investment tends to be a home. And they've done nothing. They don't, even if they have a will, that's this side of doing nothing, if you ask me. But they say, oh, I have a will. A will means it's probated. The only other thing they can do, there's two, really. And I'm not, let me say, I always have to say this. I'm not a lawyer, and everything I say is not legal advice. It's an opinion. That's all it is. So I don't want anyone saying, Mary said, no, this is all, it's educational purposes only. That's what this is. So just so you know. So you want to keep in mind, if you do have that, you don't want to not do anything. To do nothing means it automatically is going to go to probate. That's the best way I can describe it. To do nothing is going to probate. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going. So this is my what I would encourage you to do. You can get the book. It's on Amazon. It's right there. So I'll show you again. You may say, well, if you type in my name, the books will come up. The books, the journals, they all come up. But here's the book again, just so you can see it. Save Your Home from Probate. You see the little gavel in there? Because it's coming down to that gavel. Whatever that judge says, period. Good, bad, or indifferent. If you have a will, it's whatever that judge says. Because people will invalidate a will. They will do it. They'll say the person was incompetent. They were not incoherent, but they'll all kinds of reasons. They signed the will under distress. They were all kinds of stuff. The point being, they act like somebody had a gun to their head when they signed it. But anyway, the point is, if they have that paper filled out, think about this. That person, this paper is more powerful than a will. You fill out that paper, you get it notarized. These are the steps. Fill it out, get it notarized, file it with the wherever your county land is, or county records, which is I'm in Southern California and I'm in Riverside County, so it's Riverside. So they file it there. Once they do that, now that properties will go to the person named on that form. No probate. I've since learned that what they do too is that they'll notify the next of kin. They will notify them. Now, this is what can happen. This is what I've learned too, since I've known people that have used it and I've watched the whole process. And they actually did go, they had a lawyer. But this is what they told me. The lawyer cost them, I know this may sound like a lot of money to some people, but in the big, realm of things, it was no money. It was $1,000. Now, I know that may sound like a lot. I'm not saying $1,000 is not a lot of money. I don't want to get you the wrong impression. But in the arena of what we're talking about, you can pay thousands of dollars for this. So if you're paying $1,000, $1,000, and it could have cost them $30,000 to do the same exact thing, it could to do what they're going to do. The reason for probate is you're transferring that property to someone else per the person's wishes. That's what it is. Now, if you say, um, well, that wasn't their wishes, that's why this is where people make videos now, people, that kind of thing. To make sure that was their wishes, they make a video. So there's no question that was their wishes. Um, but the point is, if you're going to use that, and I'm not saying to do it or not to do it, I would tell you, um, when it was time, when the property was transferred, the person passed away, and it was time to transfer. The person that I'm speaking of, they did hire an attorney. The attorney notified all of the next of kin. They had 90 days to dispute it. They did not dispute it within that 90-day period. The property belongs to them. That's the truth of the matter. And this was in California. So she told me all the steps she took. And I was really glad, because even though I help people do this, I had never seen the end result. I just taken them through the process. But unfortunately, her mother did pass away, this lady I'm speaking of. And when she did, this is what she told me they had to go through. So I'm saying this from experience. But when she told me she had to pay $1,000, I said, count your, I just took a deep breath. I said, count your blessings. And she said, why do you say? I said, because you have no idea what you could have had to pay. That's why I was really, really excited for her when she said she only had to pay $1,000. So, and then Debbie, you said, do you know if this applies in Texas? And the answer is yes, it does. And it's another form in Texas, but it's the same thing, but called another name, by the way. So, but if you get the book, it's in there. Texas, I can take a look, but I already know it is. Because I know most of the states now. That's how long I've worked with this. And it says, that's why in the front it says available in most states. That's what it says up here. That's because it's not all 50 states, but I can tell you this. California is in here. And this is why I can read to you really quickly, because it's not going to take me but a minute to go through it anyway. And Trisha, oh, you need this? Okay. Yeah, you do. You can get it right there on Amazon. I'm going to put her comment up. Trisha said, this is her comment. I need this info. My nephew died in 2021 and we rented out his house to keep the mortgage paid. We haven't done nothing else. Okay. Now, let me say to you, I would suggest you get an attorney, because you're going to need one. And let me also caution you and say before I jump and say that, you may be able to do it without an attorney. I don't want to say that, because I know people who have done probate on their own, no attorney, but that was a probate that wasn't disputed. Let me just say that. If there's no dispute and everyone's good with it, you won't have a problem. It's only when people dispute that it's going to get legal and a whole lot of money that it's just honestly given away, if you ask me. But I did want to, let me go through this with you. So if any of these states apply to any of you, then you know. Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, District of Columbia, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Dakota, Texas, there's Texas, Debbie, Utah, Virginia, Vermont, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Those are that are up to date. I said, and if any new ones came on, they probably wouldn't be in here because this was published last year. But we do try and stay on top of this, because I want to make sure any new ones are added to this book. And what you'll find in here is an example of the form that you need. That's in here. So the form is in the book, an example of it, and it says at the bottom of everyone, it says for educational purposes only. But keep in mind, this is showing you could actually take this in and they would know what you're talking about. I can tell you that right now. You go to the county records, they're like, okay, we know what that is. But it's for educational purposes only. And that's so that you don't use the form. We don't want you to do that. We want you to go to your county and they'll tell you the form that you need in order to do this. This is this literally, when I tell you it's a game changer, it's a game changer. And like you said about the nephew, I'm so sorry to hear about your nephew, by the way, Trisha. Um, is you to because what you're really doing, you're holding on to a property that, if I be honest, number one, you're not going to be able to sell, and you may not be able to recoup that mortgage that you're paying because you don't have any. It's called standing with it. Nobody has any legal rights to it. I don't know how old your nephew was. I mean, how long he had it or anything like that. But you may be able to go to a paralegal and take care of it. I don't want to tell you can't. I just want you to know it will take something through the courts. You can't just go and do anything now. I'm so sorry to hear that he passed them. So keep that in mind too, ladies and gentlemen. And this, some of you may have questions about this, so I am going to give you a minute. If you have any questions, I have. When I tell you I've studied this, I was living, breathing. Writing this book was fascinating to me because I knew how many people it would help. I could not believe how many people it would help. This book, Save Your Home from Probate. If now, though, I've had people say, I'm going to be dead and gone anyway, so I don't care what happens. I think that is just, I can't even imagine. I would never even say those words, but people do. So I would encourage you not to do that. Let me just say that. And if you don't know who to leave it to, I've had people say that. We have been blessed. We are helping high school students graduate from high school. I'm going to put a shameless plug in here for our nonprofit, which is Main Ambition, mainambition.org. And the reason for that, you can help high school students graduate from high school. I spoke to a friend of a friend, and this friend has 5 properties. They don't even have a will. When I tell you that's going to be a fight in that courtroom, because the properties are in Southern California, and she bought them when they were $25,000, and now they're all worth at least probably close to $1 million each now. So there's going to be a fight. And why the woman won't do something, I have no clue. But that people do what they do. I mean, it's her property. But I would encourage, even if she left one to one of her nieces, nephews, she can take one of the forms, leave one to one niece or nephew, one to a church, she can do whatever she wants to do. But I would encourage her to do something, because, like it or not, we act like death is not imminent. We really act like it's not happening. You know we do. I mean, people do. We live like, oh no, that's something somebody else gonna do. I'm not gonna do it, but somebody gonna do it. And I've often said this because this is what my father used to always say: nobody's getting out of here alive. Nobody. So if there's any person that I'm speaking to today, and you are able to make the change and get this done, I will feel like I have accomplished something today hugely, because what I've done by just sharing this with you, your family won't fight. There won't be any fight. The person, especially if they fill out the papers and they make a video, oh my goodness. And they're coherent. They can, I'm speaking, I'm, I have my right mind, all those kind of things. Because people act like, as I said before, like somebody is doing something to them. But that's because usually the only person that says that is somebody who didn't get what they thought they should get. That tends to be. Everybody that's getting what they thought they should get, they don't have a problem. They don't tend to. And Trish, you're welcome, Trish. Hi, Trish. And then we have Sonia. Hi, Sonia. How are you? Nice to see you. And I'm going to go back really quickly and do a quick little roll call. I'm going to tell you thank you. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Lane. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Trish. Thank you all for coming. I can tell, and thank you, Sonia. I can tell you about, that was what I want to really stress. If you have any questions about, if I can answer them, I will, about probate and how this will, and thank you. And please, I just had a comment, a text said, thank you for this information. I'm going to purchase your book. Please leave a review. Any of the books you purchase, this is what I've learned. People read those reviews. They read those reviews. So if you purchase any of the books, whether it be, doesn't matter which one, whether even it's From the Ashes I Rise, Dr. Henry's, if you purchase Peyton, the Pink Well with the Yellow Tail, this came out last year. If you purchase Stuck in the Elevator, So when you go to my page, I think these are all on there. And the newest one, Justin lost a tooth, and I almost forgot. Um, this is the one. Uh, have you seen a red elephant? Also, the one that's digital, but it's going to take a little while. It's going to be put in paperback. If there's a rocket in my pocket, that was the very first one I published. That's going to be put in paperback. So you guys will be able to get that soon. All of those are available, as I said before. So it's Justin. This is from Justin. And I showed you Fayette. And Fayette is working on her new book right now. We're really, really proud of her. This is Fayette. So, and I showed you the journals. But 5 years ago, none of these existed. Not in this form. Now they may have existed in our heads, but they, but they, but they were not. They were not where you can read it. I can tell you that. And I talk to people all the time, and they'll say, "I have all these things running around my head." All I tell people is the one thing I did that changed my life is I wrote it down. And I've told the story. Those of you that have heard it before, I'm apologize, but some haven't. Over 5 years ago now, some of you know, some of you don't. We lost my youngest brother. He passed away from a brain aneurysm, and 90 days later, my mother passed away um, from breast cancer. I was a mess. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm sure my husband would agree. But I was grief stricken, and I just could not believe I could lose two immediate family members within a 90-day span. So, be that as it may, through that, a friend came over and she told me a story. And when she told me the story, I I listened to it and I said, her name is Dolores, and I said, Dolores, that's a children's book. And I had never written a book in my life before that day. In my life, I had written the most I'd written, I think, was 3 poems my entire life. So here it is. I'm at this time I had retired from teaching. I taught over 30 years at the high school level, middle school, high school, predominantly high school, and I was searching. When I retired, I didn't know what I would do. I just knew there was something I was supposed to do. I just didn't know what that something was. And in that space of not knowing, I can't even describe that energy. I felt lost in a lot of it. I just felt lost. But lo and behold, when she told me that story, I did the one thing that changed my life. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. It wasn't a big deal. I just took a sheet of paper and I wrote it down. And I haven't even published that book. That book hasn't even been published yet. Think about that. All these have, and that book still hasn't. And I read it the next day. One of my grandkids came over, and so I read it to her, and she started laughing, and she was going, "Oh, Nana, I really like that story." And I'm sitting here going, "She's laughing at my words. Those are my words. These are not, they're not Dr. Seuss's words. So when she did that, and probably more than anything else was her reaction to it. But then she turned to me and said, Nana, can you write a story about me? The way she said that was so touching for me. And I wrote her story. It wasn't then. I wrote her story like 6 months later because my writing is by inspiration. Something. I can't tell you what it is because I don't know what it is. I can be watching TV, a show. It has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. And I mean, I'm just watching and something will come to me. I actually said the words, painting the pink well with the yellow tail. I just said it. And that's how it became a book. Excuse me. When I said those of you know, stuck in the elevator. But I'm going to go back because I get excited about this. But I wrote the story down. I wrote the book. And that book is still yet to be printed. Still yet to be in print. And it will be because I keep books that are not incomplete. That one is incomplete. That's why you haven't seen it yet. And some books I can write in one sitting, and some I can tell you for a fact, Justin Lost a Tooth took at least a year to write that book. That book took a while. It didn't happen overnight. But I will say um, to you, the if you have the thoughts, write them down. I say thoughts because that's usually how they come to me. I say write it down, and I'm saying that to you because we think we're going to remember. I cannot tell you. I had to learn these lessons. If a thought comes in my mind, think about this, a thought of something, I write it down immediately. Now I don't even try to make sense of it. I don't have to. I've learned, write it down and figure it out later. But don't say I'm gonna remember it. Don't say that. Because you know why? You're not. You're not. That thought, I always think of it like this. That thought came to you. God gave it to you. And if you don't do anything with it, he's gonna give it to somebody else. So I've learned, I've trained myself. If that thought comes, I have a pen and paper literally all over the house. I think now, but or if my phone is with me, I just put it in the phone. I can text it to myself, whatever it is. But grab it. As the new book is coming out, it's called after so that you just saw Justin Lost a Tooth. I have another book coming called Liz Has a Cat. But I keep digressing. So the book that you haven't seen yet, the very first one, I'm actually going back now to finish that book. Then I'm going back to finish the book for our granddaughter because she's asked about her book. So those two books are being worked on now. I'm now, but that's not all I'm working on. But that's two of the ones I'm working on. So I say that in the interim, when other books come to me, I write them. I don't say, "Oh no, Lord, don't give me that book." I never say that. I write them down and write them and publish them, but I don't let go of the other ones. I keep notebooks and everything else in there, and I have things in my computer. But I'm saying I don't let go of that because I finished that book. What I'm working now on, honestly, is working on movies. Now, I'll be the first to admit, making this transition has not been easy for me. But I finished my first screenplay. I have the script done, my treatment done. Everybody, those of you that right now, all that's done. I have the movie done. Everything's done. The movie is done. So now I have to have a production company that says yes to it. For me to sit here and say I have a script, completed script, 90-page script, done, is like, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like to me because I'm like, what? And I can say that because it's God. It's God. I am a vessel. That's what I say. This is all of this. When I retired from my job, I was a teacher and everything like that. When I went to my principal and said I was retired, the lady thought I had lost my mind. I know she did. Because she's like, man, she did everything but say you're having a midlife crisis. That's the only thing she didn't say. You need to stay. You need to stay 5 more years. It's like she was just going down line, all these things, and I'm listening to her, knowing she's right. By the way, the lady wasn't wrong, but I knew it was something. Now, if somebody had told me when I did this 11 years ago now that I would be writing books, I would not have believed them. I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, right. That would have been I would have said that because I hadn't written anything. Now that I'm writing movies, I'm like, I don't even know the words to thank God for this. I don't have the words because I believe that all the time when he was saying for me to leave, even though I didn't know what I was going to, he was trying to lead me here, but I had to believe it. I had to trust. I had to trust because I was leaving a decent paying job. It wasn't bad. I knew the job. I had been doing it 30 years. It wasn't like it was a hard. That's what think about this. Everything was all good. That it was all good. As I always tell my sons, it was all good in the hood. They tell me, Mom, that is so old. But I still say it. But I say that because if I were to look at my life, there was no reason for me to truthfully, honestly, to tell you the truth. There was no reason for me to retire. None. Why did I need to leave that job? Why did I need to? But if had I, and I truly believe this, if I had not left, I would have never found this. I couldn't do both. I wanted to stay on the job, and I wanted to find what God was leading me to. And He said, "You can't. You can't have it both ways. I can't lead you there while you're holding on to this security, because that's what it was. The job was the security. I could, yeah, I knew that. I didn't know this. I didn't know this strange place of not working a full-time job and having a salary cut in half. That was another thing I really didn't want to deal with. But it was a reality. But this is what I noticed. Our lights are still on. I didn't notice that. we're still we're life is good. I thank God for this. I thank God that I trusted Him enough to say. And as my son tells me, he said, "Mom, he believes God is a she, not a he. We say God's a he." And I said, "Son, I believe God is a spirit, but he." Anyway, point is, whatever God is to you, I can only tell you what God is to me. And when I was making these decisions, I prayed to them. I didn't just jump up and do them. I always feel like I need you, Lord, to help me with this. This is not something I can do without your help, because I don't want to do the wrong thing, and I'm scared. I'm scared to leave a full-time job in, well, I with corporate. You say corporate America. I didn't know school districts were corporate America. I know that sounds so crazy, but I didn't. I really didn't. I found out, but anyway, to leave a full-time job and to go to nothingness in essence was hard. It was hard. But I'm gonna I've been giving my soliloquy, and I'm gonna go to the comments. But just know, and I'm saying all this for that person. I'm not saying this for anybody to leave a job. Let me just preface this. I would never, ever tell anybody to leave a job, but I will tell you this. Try new things. I tried painting. I tried some of everything, trying to figure out God, why do I need to leave the job? I thought it was because my brother was ill and passed away. I could be there for him. I thought it was because my mother was ill and passed away. I could be there for her. I thought that was what it was. But that wasn't. It was so that I could lead you to do this. This is our legacy. Our children, our grandchildren, they get to read your words. Think about this. When I'm no longer here, my children and grandchildren will see these books for generations to come. That touches my heart to know, even if they never knew me, they will know me through those books. They can read about their grandmother. I don't even have anything from my great-grandparents, not one thing that I can go to and say, that was my great-grandmother, that was my great-grandfather. I don't have one thing. And they have a picture of my great-grandmother, I think. That's what I think. That's what I have. But to sit down and say I have their words, I don't really have that, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna go to the comments. So here we go. And they are okay. Burdette Travel Network. In your opinion, is it best to set up a trust for your home versus a will? I'm gonna say this. Consult an attorney. That's the best way I'm gonna say that. Because anything I say would be my opinion, but I would encourage you. And let me say this. I don't know where you are, Burdette Travel. Let me say this to you though. And some of you may already know this, but I'm gonna add this. In Riverside County, and I believe it's all 58 counties in the state of California. There's 58 counties. Why this is important is because in each county, they have a lawyer referral service. The lawyer referral service, and I know Riverside has it because I've used it umpteen times. You pay, at the time I've used it, it was $60 cash. That's what I remember. But you get 1 hour. Think about this with an attorney. 1 hour. Before I went to that meeting, I had all my questions written down, all of them. Do not go in there and think you're gonna remember, because you're not. Write your questions down. Be very specific with them to the answers that you're looking for. That 1 hour, and it may be $75, it may be $100. I promise you it's worth it because you're talking to someone that's in the field. That professional can answer all those questions for you. I've done it for numerous different things going on in our lives that I needed a lawyer for. And I wanted to know the answer. They make an appointment for you. They do it. I've had physical appointments and I've had phone appointments. But my questions are always written down for that appointment. So it's called the Lawyer Referral Service. You call the Bar Association for any county. I'm speaking for California. I cannot speak for anything outside of California because I don't know what they do. But I know in California it's called the Lawyer Referral Service. Just to give you some tidbit of information. I hope you can use that. Okay. So good luck with everything that you're trying to do. I'm so glad to see people are doing something. I really am. Doing nothing, ladies and gentlemen, is going to cost you money. Let me just say that. It's going to cost everybody money to do nothing. And Inoko, he said, "Oh, you love that book? I don't know which one." I don't know. I don't know if it's Dr. Henry's or is it which I don't know which one, Inoko, but I'm sure you love all of them. Okay. Oh, have you? Oh, she said, "We have given your book as a gift to Riverside School." Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I was just asked to speak at one of the local libraries just today. So that's really just today. So I'm going to find out of other libraries and schools and stuff like that. I've been speakers at schools. They just need to contact me and get on my calendar, which is filling up fast. All of a sudden, everything just started taking off. And Nanette, hi Nanette, how are you? Hi Nanette, nice to see you. And Inoko says, "We are grateful to God that you are still teaching." Oh, thank you, Inoko. The world has become your classroom. Thank you. Oh, it really, I tell you, Inoko, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. You know what it is? I think for me, if I can share this information, I feel like that's what I'm here for. And I'm going to talk tomorrow night. I'm doing a webinar. Those, if you want to, put my phone number. It's for veterans. If you're 100% disabled and you're a veteran, I have some information you might be interested in. The one person, I tell you this for a fact, I helped someone, they did not know about this one little benefit. And when I told them, they received $15,000 for this one little benefit. Amazing. So Jeanette, hi Jeanette. Oh, hi, how are you? Jeanette says, "Hello, Mary." Hi, Jeanette. And I say that because if you know someone 100% disabled, then they are eligible for this benefit. If they are homeowner, these are the two criteria. Be 100% disabled as a veteran. And the second one is a homeowner. And I'm going to speak to California residents because I live in the state of California and that's what I know the most about. I can't speak for other states. But this is interesting too. I'm going to throw this out because some of you may not know this. If you are, let me say this. If you're a veteran, you have 0% disability. I know this is hard to believe. Your children in the state of California can attend the community college. Well, community college is free now. UC's and Cal State's tuition free. I'm going to say that again. Because I'm amazed. People don't know. I've talked to people that didn't know, so I know everybody doesn't know this. If you have a 0% disability, you're a veteran. Number one, you have to be a veteran. Let's start with number one. Number one, veteran. Number two, a 0% disability, meaning I don't know how they get 0%. I don't know I'm not the authority on that. But if there is a disability on your DD 214, but it's a 0%, your children, if they're not 18, let's say they're going to college, they can attend the University of California UC system. Everybody got that? UC, like UCLA, UC Berkeley, UC Riverside, UC San Diego, UC San Francisco. They can attend those systems tuition free. That's a biggie, by the way. Everybody doesn't know that? I already know that's only one of the things you'll learn tomorrow, but I'm just throwing that so people will know now. Now, I could tell you guys the other part. Do you really want to know the other one? You guys are like, what? I'm going to go in and tell you. And I'm going to tell you why. I think you should know Everybody doesn't know. So if you are a veteran, and now those of you that were planning to come tomorrow night, you don't have to even come. I'm gonna tell you now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome. It says Jeanette says proud of you. I appreciate that, Jeanette. More than you know. I really do. More than I sometimes I get on, I wonder, as I say, am I making a difference? Just to hear what you're saying encourages me. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you are a veteran, I'm going to say this because many people don't know this. If you're a veteran and you're 100% disabled, think about that. You can't be 10, you can't be 20, you can't be 30, 100% disabled, and you are a homeowner. These are your criteria. Number one, you're a veteran. Number two, you're a homeowner. Number three, you're 100% disabled. Those are the criteria. If you meet those three criteria, you do not pay state taxes on your property. That's it. So for many people that just heard that, if you know anyone that's 100% disabled and they own a home, they don't know. I've talked to too many people. Actually, I can't tell you people I've talked to that didn't know. Jeanette said we all go through midlife crisis. I went through it. But look at the other end, Jeanette. Thank God I went through it. I'm just like, wow, Lord. And then we have, as we get, tell me about it. I'm not getting older, Jeanette. I'm getting younger. Anyway, it says first time you had a moment to come by. Oh, thank you. You know, this is a good one because I'm as they say, I'm spilling the tea today. You picked a good one to come by on, that's for sure. So I'm gonna say this again. So you don't have to come Tuesday night because I'm giving you the information right now. That's tomorrow night. I have the list. I'm actually going to call and probably tell everyone because I don't want them to have to take time to come. But just so they know, if you are a veteran, these are the criteria. Number one, you must first be a veteran. Number two, you must be 100% disabled. Number three, you must be a homeowner. Your name must be on the deed. You do not pay state taxes on that property, not state taxes in general. I'm saying on your property. Now, for somebody, that's a game changer. So this is what I tell people. Because I would like for you to give back. I've learned, we have a nonprofit. The nonprofit is called Main Ambition. And I say that because people have said to me, how can we give back? Go to Main Ambition and donate. You can be a subscriber. You can donate monthly to Main Ambition. That's fine. You are helping high school students become productive members of our society. Better to help them now than to wish you had helped them later. That's what Main Ambition does. It's a mentoring program for high school students. As far as I'm concerned, if you're a high school student, you're at risk. Those of you, we kind of put this little label on people. Teenagers are at risk, period. All these drugs and this fentanyl and this stuff, this, that, and the other going around, they're at risk. So the goal for Main Ambition is to help that student graduate from high school and stay away from these drugs and all these things going on that's keeping them, the negativity. There's so much stuff coming at our kids. Main Ambition is not a cure-all or anything like that, but I can promise you this. The students that come through the program will be better for it than worse for it. Let me just say that. Our goal is that they're better and they become contributing members of society. So if you like to donate, if you like to monthly give, if you want to make one-time donation just go to mainambition.org, mainambition.org, and we'll be more than happy to have your donation. Put it in the chat. .org, O-R-G. There we go. Mainambition.org. And I will put that up. And that will be, will it show? There it is. Mainambition.org. If you would like to contribute, or you know someone that would, we would love for you to contribute to the nonprofit so we can help. Because what the nonprofit does is provide mentors for students and gives them another support system. It does take a village to raise a child. Anybody thinks it doesn't, you are wrong. It does. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here today. I apologize for whatever happened with the technical issues, but we will get Mr. Rayford back again. This I promise you. And we'll have another show a week from today. So we'll be here on Monday, which is the day before Valentine's Day. And we're going to talk about love. And we're going to talk about relationships. So I thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless each and every one of you. And I'll see you in a week. Bye, everybody.